Hey there, everyone. Welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I'm the host of the show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other types of music. So, we're here with an episode of What's New. And I've done an album that came out recently, I think it's probably about 2 weeks ago, pretty close to 2 weeks ago now. An album by Toto founding member and guitar player, vocalist Steve Lukather, and his album is called Bridges. I own the album, but I did like it. I did listen to it, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about it. So this album was released June the 16th, 2023. So like I said, about a couple weeks now. 35 minutes, almost 36 minutes in length, on the Players Club label. And it's produced by Steve and Trev Lukather as well as Joseph Williams. So appearing on the album, they've got about 8, I think there's about 9 of them on this album. So Steve Lukather, guitars, bass, lead vocals on most tracks. Trev Lukather, guitars, bass, and backing vocals on most tracks. Joseph Williams, backing vocals, synthesizers, keyboards, and percussion. David Patch, keyboards on some of the tracks as well. Steve Mangora, on keys and backing vocals. Leland Schuyler on bass. Jorgen Carlson on bass as well. They're all doing different bass tracks for different songs. And then you have Simon Phillips and Shannon Forrest on drums as well, both on different tracks as well. So, pretty solid album, I think. An album that I listened to the entire album. Kind of a poppy, some tracks are a little bit more heavy pop, but mostly a poppy album with some ballads on there. And of course, there's a couple of tracks that are kind of got that bluesy sound to it. The backside of the album is kind of a little bit bluesy in its production and its sound. So it has 8 tracks on it. Most of the songs range in around the 3-4 minute range. The backside of the album a little bit longer, 2 or 3 tracks in the 5-minute range. But overall, pretty solid album. I did like the video that went with it. Almost every one of the videos had some birds in it. I'm not really sure what that's about, but I had quite a bit of bird videos in there. And these were kind of, I would say they're kind of artistic videos. They're not really like a video in the sense where there's people interacting. It's just artwork, mostly birds. Okay, so the overall feel of this album, like I said, very heavy pop, some poppy, a little, some ballady, lots of bluesy stuff towards the backside. Some good guitar here, some atmospheric keyboards and synthesizers at points in the album as well. I would say it's a pretty solid album overall. I gave it probably if I was giving it a number, I'd give it like a 6. 5.5, 6 out of 10. At times some of the 6 tracks are a little bit more, so maybe I might give it a 6. So like I said, it has 8 tracks on it. The starting out track, or the first track on it, Far From Over, it's almost 4 minutes in length. Kind of a heavy pop track with lots of catchy guitar riffs on it, and the vocals are solid on this track as well. I think his vocals are pretty solid throughout the album, fairly clear, mostly frontal in their nature, like forward, and you can hear him clearly. The production is good on the album as well. The second tune, My Kind of People, this is a little bit shorter, not much, a couple seconds shorter. I didn't like it as much as the opening track, but it still wasn't bad. Solid vocals here again, since it's another heavy pop track. The third song, Someone, a more subdued opening, very catchy vocals and beats here. Guitar parts are catchy. The solo is very apropos for the song. One of the better tracks, I think, on the album. I didn't mind this one. It was quite good, actually. All Forevers Must End. This is a love ballad. I'm not a huge fan of love ballads. This one doesn't really do much for me. The vocals are clear and the production's good here, but it's a very solemn guitar solo as well. Just a very sappy kind of lovey song. Actually, the word sappy doesn't really apply here. It's a love ballad, but I wouldn't say it was a sappy one. I don't think it really applies to this particular song. The next song out, When I See You Again. Some pretty heavy guitar riffing to open here. Some solid key and synthesizer parts as well. The vocals are more frontal than most of the songs on the album here, and it's again a heavy pop with a really catchy solo as well. I did like this song more, probably the most at this point on the album. Then you get to the back 3 tracks, or the last 3 tracks, which are a little bit more bluesy, a lot more bluesy than they are at the beginning of the album. I didn't like the first kind of bluesy track. Well, actually, I can't say I didn't like it. It kind of took me a bit. I wasn't expecting there to be so much bluesy sound to it, but it's a slow track. The guitar solo is tastefully done. The piano adds a lot of different elements to this particular track as well, and helps with the bluesy dominant sound to the track. So kind of took me by surprise. I really wasn't expecting it, and so I didn't really like it as much. I warmed up to the next 2 tracks quite a bit though. This next track, Burning Bridges, it opens with a kind of Steely Dan sound to it, and then that kind of element stays throughout the music. It's not dominating, but there is that feeling. I get that real Steely Dan feeling from this particular track. It's kind of poppy, but it's got a bluesy sound to it. The piano is strong here, and that probably adds a lot of elements to the Steely Dan sound. Again, a tastefully bluesy guitar solo, really well done, really well executed. Another song that I liked, one of my more favorite songs on the album. Then you get to the final track, Take My Love. Nice guitar solo bit to open. Lots of synthesizers and keys that add a different kind of an atmosphere to this song. It's a bit of a love ballad, but it has some serious guitar soloing towards the end of it. And it's a bit longer than most ballads would normally be. So not a bad song. So overall, a kind of poppy, bluesy album with lots of really bluesy or nice guitar parts with some atmospheric keyboards and synthesizers. Yeah, a pretty solid album all around. I did like the Steely Dan part the best. I really think he captured that element. I don't know if he was attempting to capture that element or it wasn't, but definitely he did a good job capturing it. Even if he didn't know he was trying to, I can't imagine he wouldn't though. Steely Dan's a band that I'm sure he's worked with and probably has a kind of feel for their music as well. So an excellent album. I think it's worth, for me it'll be worth purchasing. It just depends on the cost of it. I might hold off for a bit. I might wait. I don't think I would want to spend more than $8 or $9 on it, so I'm probably going to have to hold off until it goes into the older bin, and then I'll grab it then. I don't think I want to pay like more than $10 for the album. I think it's a little bit not really something that I would normally pay that much for. It's never going to be a masterpiece or a number 1 or maybe even a number 2 album with me, but it has a chance to be a number 2 album, so it would be worth buying. I liked it enough to buy it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video of What's New, Stephen Lukather's Bridges album, and we'll be back with another What's New probably on the weekend. I'm hoping. I'm just waiting for them to release the full album so I can listen to it. I've listened to 2 of the tracks on it, and hopefully we'll get to listen to the rest. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this one. I wasn't even aware that this band was still making music, so it's kind of an interesting scenario for me. So anyways, you have yourself a good evening. Please like and subscribe. It's much appreciated, and we will see you again on tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon for the psychedelic snack with Brother Murphy. So take care.